With Module 18, really we're just doing a lot of vocabulary. So you're going to be defining a lot of words that you are probably unfamiliar with, because who in here has a checking account? Probably not very many of you. Nobody in here, I'm sure, carries a debit card or a credit card. Why would you? So these terms are words that you might be hearing for the first time. And we're going to be writing down the word and writing down the definition in our notes. And then we're going to apply some of these vocabulary words to the math that we're going to do that has to do with the bank. So right now you have 4 vocabulary words. I want you to write them down, copy down the word, copy down the definition. Like I've told some of my classes, when I make the video, it's big on the screen, the print and everything, and then once it gets saved to YouTube, it's in the little screen, it's in a little window, and it's hard to see, so I just don't realize how tiny it is until the video is already posted. So I've got to remember to magnify my page so you guys can see it better. Okay, so we're going to look at this table. Don't fill it out. Don't take notes on this. It says the table shows the fees for certain features at 2 banks. Complete the table to show which bank has the better deal for each feature. So one bank is Township Bank, and the other one is Peachtree Bank. Okay. For writing a check, Township Bank says every time you write a check, you're going to have to pay 50 cents. Peachtree says we're not going to charge you for writing checks. That's your money. So who's a better deal? Peachtree is. ATM transactions at a bank that doesn't belong to them. So like if you take your debit card from Township and you go use it at a bank that's not Township, then you're going to get charged $1 every time you take out money. And Peachtree is going to charge you $2. So who's better there? Township is. ATM transactions at their own bank. So if Township, you have a debit card from Township and you use it with Township, it's free. Same thing with Peachtree, so both of those are good. And then the debit cards, Township charges you $2.50 a month, and Peachtree charges you 50 cents for every withdrawal. So, yikes. I mean, which one are you going to be making a lot of withdrawals? Every time you use it, like at Walmart, or to get gasoline, or to pay something online, you're going to get charged 50 cents every time you use it, whereas at Peachtree, whereas at Township, it's just flat $2.50 a month. How many of these equal a monthly fee of $2.50? How many groups of 50 cents are there in $2.50? There's 4 in $1, so that would be 8 in $2, and then an extra 50 cents, that's an extra one. So it would be 9 transactions or 9 withdrawals. If you make more than 9 withdrawals, then this would be the way to go. If you only use your debit card once or twice a month, this is the way to go. I would have to say Township for me, because I use my debit card like, I don't know how many times. Probably 9 times. All right, so B says, during 1 month, Carmen wrote 4 checks and used her debit card for 2 non-bank transactions. Which bank is better for her? So she wrote 4 checks. All right, so that here would be $2. And here it would be free. And then used her debit card for 2 non-bank transactions. Okay, so non-bank. So if she used it here, that would be $2. And here that would be $4. 4 checks, and used her debit card for 2 non-bank. Which one is better for her? Well, here she would spend $4, and here she would spend $4. So which one do you think would be best for her? What do you think? This page says a credit card is a plastic payment card you can use to purchase goods or services. It looks like a debit card, but it's treated completely different. The debit card, as I said on the last page, when you use it, the amount that you're charged is automatically taken from your checking account. When you use a credit card, it charges you. In other words, it says, you can buy this now, and then we'll send you a bill for it later. And sometimes as soon as you get that bill in the mail, if you pay it before the due date, then you don't have any charges, any extra fees or anything. But if you only pay some of it or you don't pay it all off, then they'll charge you extra for it. It's called interest rate. So it says a credit card is a plastic payment card you can use to purchase goods or services. Using a credit card is like getting a loan. You pay for your purchases later when you receive a monthly bill. You also pay interest on the balance. A lot of companies, when they give you their credit card, when you sign up for it and you qualify for it, they tell you that you don't have any interest for like a year or 8 months or something. And that means that they don't charge you extra for that amount of time. So let's look at this question. Sam and Kong, that's a weird name, King Kong, bought identical guitars that cost $600. Sam paid for his guitar with his debit card, so $600 was deducted from his checking account on the day of the purchase. Kong charged his guitar on his credit card. He made payments each month until the guitar was paid off. Over time, he paid the credit card company $600, that was for the guitar, plus an additional $32 in interest. So that was like the fee that he had to pay for borrowing the money. Okay, so that's what that means. And who do you think, like, how would you do it? If you could pay $600 right away or pay a little bit at a time, like maybe $60 every month, that would be for like 10 months, right? 60 times 10. But then each month that you are making a payment, they're charging you, as long as you're not making the whole payment, they're charging you a percent. So it's like $60 and a little bit more. In the end, you end up paying more. And that would work for people that can't afford $600 all at once. Who is going to buy a $600 guitar? Anyway, I don't know. Okay? So the table shows some features of debit cards and credit cards. Write A next to the features you think are advantages. Write D next to the features you think are disadvantages. So with a debit card, you don't have to carry cash, actual money. You don't have to carry a checkbook. I don't know, I carry a purse. I carry all those things even when I have the debit card, but you don't have to have those things. Okay, A or D? I would say that's, I don't know, an A. Like if you go to SeaWorld, you don't have to carry all those things. May include a fee for each purchase. Boo! You need a PIN to access the account. A PIN number is a personal identification number. It's a code, kind of like when you have your iPad and it's locked and only you know the code. That's the same thing that a PIN is. So that's an advantage because you don't want strangers using your card. Need enough money in your account to cover the cost of purchases. Like if you don't have enough money, you can't buy it because it's tied to your checking account right away. I don't know. I guess that's a disadvantage. Easy access to cash at ATM machines. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's an advantage. For credit cards, the balances can quickly increase and be difficult to pay off each month. That's a disadvantage, and that's what happens a lot of the time is that people buy stuff, and then they can't pay it all off. They don't have enough money, so they pay off a little bit each month, but then they have to pay extra. May include a yearly fee. Boo! Statements provide a record of expenses. That's a good thing so you can see what was purchased. Can make purchases without having money to cover the full price. That's good in case you don't have the money and you need something, like you get someone stabs your tires and you don't have enough money to pay for them. Well, you can go get new tires and pay off a little bit at a time. Must pay interest on any unpaid balance. Boo! Jolene bought a new helmet from a bike shop. She recorded her purchase in her check register. Which type of card did she use? So when you are using a debit card, because it comes out of your checking account, that's what that is. And a register is like your record, what you add to your account and what you subtract. That is called a register. Okay, so I know that she used a debit card. Don't write this down. Just listen. She used a debit card because it was recorded in her checking account, and your debit card is tied directly to your checking account. Terrence has $54.29 in his checking account. He needs to purchase a football uniform for $56.50. Should Terrence use his debit card or his credit card? Explain your reasoning. Okay, if he used his debit card, remember your debit card automatically takes that money out of your checking account. Does he have enough money in his checking account? No, he's short. So he needs to use his credit card, which will send him a bill later on for the purchase. Okay, so my explanation, he needs to use his credit card because there is not enough money in his checking account. He will get a bill later. So he's going to have to pay it. Maybe he can pay it a few dollars at a time, or he can pay it all off at once. But if he spends all of his money in his checking account and tries to spend more, the bank will charge him a fee for that. Like it's $25 or $35 at some banks. So if you don't have enough money already, you're going to be really in debt. You're going to be on the negative side by a lot after you pay those fees. Okay, so this is what a check register looks like. A lot of times you'll hear adults say things about balancing their checkbooks. It's kind of something that we don't do much anymore because we have online banking. We can check our app, our banking app. Like I bank at IBC. So I can just log on and see what how much money I have in there really super fast, immediately. But it hasn't always been that way. So a lot of people learned how to balance a checkbook and then they just still do it. That's how they keep a record of how much money they have. And you really have to know how to add and subtract when you do that. So with this one, her beginning balance, she started at $236. Okay? Well, make that $236.75. And then, okay, now it says he's making a deposit. That means he's putting money into his account. It's money that he made from mowing yards. So he got $25 for mowing a yard. And so what does he do? Does he add that or does he subtract it from the balance? He added it. Plus 25. I guess he did it in his head. I always had like an extra row where I added that. Now what happens when, is it a guy or a girl? Oh, it's Annie. Okay. She's mowing yards. Then she goes to the beauty salon. Does she get money or does she have to give money at the beauty salon? She has to give money. She uses a check. It tells you check number 202. Checks are numbered, so you can keep track. So she wrote a check number 202 for $28.29. She must have just gotten a little trim or something. That's not very much. And then she had to add or subtract. She subtracts. It's a withdrawal. It's what she paid. So she did minus $28.29. And then she ended up with $233.46. A few days later, she made a transfer of money to her savings account. So she took $20 out of her checking account, put it in her savings account. Smart move. Okay, a savings account, you don't write checks on those. It sits there in the bank. So we are going to, you don't have to write this down, just subtract that $20. An ATM withdrawal, that means she went to the ATM. She took out money from her account. So now she's left with, and change colors. Right here, students are saying that equals 3. You're saying 4 minus 1, and that's not what this is. You have to borrow. Now she has $173.46, and then she got charged an ATM fee, so that's taking off $1. So $172.46. Money goes fast.